What's up, everyone? It's your boy NR2003, aka Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome everyone to Richmond Raceway underneath the lights this time, the second time this season at Richmond, and this is Chase Race number 2 of Season 4 of the JBL Cup Series. I'm NR2003, aka Nathan Stapleton, and alongside me is Andy Miller, and this is the Taylor Owners 400. First time we're here at Richmond. We have a whopping 5 cautions, a couple of big ones, and a couple of flips, 2 to be exact. Very uncommon for a short track on NR. What do you think will happen this time around, knowing that it is in the chase and it is a night race instead of a day race?
Oh boy, I think it's just going to be up to these drivers to mind their P's and Q's. Of course, this version of Richmond looking like it's going to be fairly multi-groove, at least as far as making lap time. Passing, we'll have to find out on that. But as long as these guys are able to keep it clean, then I think we'll be in for a great race. Of course, it sounds like we're going to have a lot of the chasers starting a little further back, so hopefully they'll be able to keep it patient. That's going to be the name of the game. Patience, patience, patience. If they don't do that, we're just going to have another flip fest, most likely.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't want that to happen, especially with these next gens and just for these chase drivers with them starting it deep in the field. Hopefully we don't see that happen, but it's going to be a one-stopper here tonight, about, I believe, 55-60 laps on fuel, so wide past halfway. Depending on when the cautions fall, could set up a two-stopper, but if it stays green all the way, one stop. And you mentioned it, a lot of chases still deep in the field here in this one, and that's going to be interesting. And you said they need to be patient, but how patient can they be knowing that it's 100 laps at Richmond?
I mean, that's just the game that you have to play. I mean, it's better to keep patient and probably get stuck somewhere in the 20s, trying to kamikaze a corner and end up crashing out and finishing somewhere in the 30s. So I would lean, that's how I would lean toward it. But obviously, I mean, the chase only lasts so long and you got only so much time. So it's that balancing act. But I think just considering what we know about this track, that would probably be my personal way of going about it. Better to get stuck in the mid-pack than wreck out and finish in the back.
Yeah, for sure, and just have to wait and see what these 12 chases can do. And speaking of the chase and the chases, here are the points after the first chase race of 7. And the guy that's been very consistent all year long and all season long, Jordan Stout, has a 16-point lead over Dale Campbell in second. Third is Stout's main championship contingent all year long. Richard Kingo and Scott Upton are both 21 points back. Travis Clampton, with a great one at Indy, is in 5th, 22 points back. Ben Watson, who starts the highest out of the 12 chase drivers, is 6th, 23 points back. Trey Smith is in 7th, 26 points back. Abel, minus 36 in 8th. Joe Witkowski, he's, I believe, the 3rd highest starting chaser here. He needs a good one as he already enters this race. 37 points back. White Walker minus 39, and then Nathan Stapleton minus 44, and Justice Idell minus 47 also needs some good ones starting here tonight, and might need a couple of top 10s at Daytona and tonight to get back into championship fight. But on the bright side, Watson, middle of the point, starts towards the front, Woman, and Witkowski deep of the point start up front, so might see some points get closer here going into Daytona that will ultimately make things a lot closer going into the final 4 races on the season. And here's the starting grid. Josh Williamson starts on the pole first one, and alongside him is Elijah Gordon in the number 2 machine. And row number 2 is Allison Rain and Juan Garcia, who unfortunately both he and his teammate blew engines at Indianapolis. And row number 3 is Ryan Dwyer and the highest starting uncharted driver of Troy Gossett in row number 3. Row number 4 is Logan Williams and Noah Clifton. And rounding out the top 5 are 2 chasers, Benny Watson and Nathan Woman. And as you see going through the field with the orange banners, a lot of chase drivers started deep in the field outside the top 10. Only 3 of them started inside the top 15. So it's going to be very interesting to see what those chasers will do here tonight in the 100 lap race at Richmond Raceway. And do 100 laps, night race instead of a day race, a beautiful sunset in NR2003. What do you think will happen here tonight for the first night race of the Season 4 chase?
Oh boy, it's going to be very unpredictable. I'm going to be honest about that. We're about to take the green flag here. We will find out who's going to get it done.
Gonna be a wild one for sure. Hopefully not as wild as the spring race, but hopefully still a good one. Josh Williamson and the logical one will lead us to the green. And we have green flag racing for race 17 of the season. And for the Toyota owners, 400 at Richmond. Side by side into turns 3 and 4 between Gordon and Williamson. And it's going to be Williamson leading lap number 1 at Richmond Raceway. And Gordon, the outside lane in his sprint, not sprint, but in the day race at the start of the season was not really wanted to be. Have to see if that changes here, and Gordon immediately gets down to the bottom.
Yeah, when I was saying it was going to be multi-groove, I mean, we were able to see it in part-time qualifying that you can make lap time pretty much anywhere on the track, but passing might be a different story here. So we'll see what's going to happen. But right now, that inside lane, definitely where you want to be, and that's where the number 9 is coming his way a little bit forward.
Ben Watson started on the inside lane, the highest chaser in qualifying here, moving his way up to the 4th spot. Stephen Collin in 5th as they are 3 wide, a couple rows deep here at Richmond. That could be a little bit sketchy. That's Witkowski also making his way up through the field. And in the middle of this 3 wide, we got a couple of chases of Scott Upton and Nathan Ormond in this midst. And then you can see all these chases in the middle of the field. Force of Habit, normally in the 19, and Abel in the 19, and Wyatt Walker in the 20, as well, and Jordan Stout. So multiple chases starting in the middle of the field here, starting to make their way up to the front. But Josh Williamson, who barely missed out on the for chase by 1 point after the guy that I should not be named got kicked out of the 10 and got all of his points removed. He was like 12 points out before, and then it ended up being he was only 1 point out. So Williamson has had a good season, but I bet he would love to get a win to at least make the season manageable. And right now he's leading and the highest chaser or non-chaser in the points.
It's looking like it might stay that way if he continues to run as he is. And remind me, are there going to be pit stops in this race?
Yes, there will be 1 pit stop if this stays green. It's about 55 to 60 laps on field.
Gotcha there. Now, when we were saying that the inside lane is going to be the place to be for passing, Benny Watson's having a bit of a tough time making that move down there on Elijah Gordon. Has gotten his nose down there a couple times, but has not been able to hold it. Elijah running that slightly higher lane, so might be a tire wear deal with trying to make that outside lane work. Elijah's doing it now and starting to gap this number 9 just a teeny bit.
Just a teeny tiny bit here, as Williamson is starting to pull away from Allison Rain in this number 7 machine. And Williamson trying to run about half a lane higher than Allison Rain. And Allison Rain in 2nd, Gordon in 3rd. Watson all over the back bumper of Gordon. Oh, Gordon washes up the racetrack. Well, not Gordon, Watson does. And that's going to cost him some time. Back in the pack at about 7th place, we got Clifton and Nelson having a battle. And, well, did have a battle. That's all Noah Clifton. That's, oh boy, there goes the 43.
Whoa! I might collect a few guys there.
Nathan
Ormond,
Richard Keenhart, Juan Garcia having a bad couple of races here. And Justin Seidel, don't know if he got a piece of it, but at least got held up from it. And that all started with the 43 of John Andrews got turned off of the front bumper of someone. And that's going to bring out the first caution of the night here at Richmond Raceway on lap number 12, now 13.
And based on the lines these guys are running, I think everybody's going to be coming down pit road. So they're going to be getting some fuel, getting some fresh tires, and that should bump the fuel window quite a bit later here. Probably we're looking more closer to lap 80, perhaps.
Yeah, probably somewhere in that range, 75 maybe? Because it's at 13.
That's probably more accurate, yeah.
Yeah, lap 70, lap 75, somewhere in that range. Or maybe 80 if we get similar cautions, but unfortunately, tough way for a lot of those drivers. I didn't see too many chase drivers involved, though. Besides maybe Nathan Woman, unfortunately, in the 24, and he was already deep in the points after Indy. And Williamson's going to win the race off pit road, and it's going to be easily 1, 2, 3, but Roger James almost beats Allison Wayne off pit road. Nelson in 5th. Skylar Taylor, the new driver in the team, with a good pit stop, and a lot of drivers up front that weren't up front. Like Wyatt Walker's up here now, Joe Witkowski, Stapleton, and it's going to be interesting because it was only 12 laps in, so maybe some guys took some strategy, just have to wait and see. But it will be Josh Williamson leading us back to the green flag here. But first, let's get to let's see what happened, I should say, to bring out the first caution of the night in the Toyota Owners Foreman at Richmond Raceway. Well, here we go, 3 wide going into turns 3 and 4. 3 wide works most of the time. Andrews washes up the racetrack into Scott Upton. That allows Ryan Giovanni to peek to the inside. They were briefly 4 wide. And then Tyreek Hartman, who was battling for the win at Indianapolis, backed out of it. They were 3 wide. And then exiting the corner, Ryan Giovanni just got into the corner panel of the 43 of John Andrews. And around, he slowly went down the front stretch at Richmond Raceway. And right here, Wyatt Walker in the 20 got so lucky. White barely missed it. But Clint Moore, who won here the first time, was not so lucky. Juan Garcia, Jordan Edwards, both had tough races at Indianapolis. And they got tough races. A big hit from Eli Bright to the back of Will Parrish. Derek Hamill got a piece of it, second in points. Roger Ray is good. All the 4, Brandon Beal got a piece of it. And then Ormond stopped. And a bunch of these guys, 79, 44, 16, 5, 78, and the 51, they all stopped in the fine. Don't know how much damage Ormond will have, but he's the only major, the only chase driver period involved in the first crash of the night. A tough way for a bunch of drivers that already had a tough way to start the chase for not being in the chase, like Edwards and a couple others.
Yeah, 43 washed up the track here on 41, just fill in the gap there, and then probably just a misjudgment of not realizing they were still 4 wide. The 43 stayed down in order to not hit anybody. Some lucky escapes, but also a lot of unlucky moments there. A lot of drivers involved. But very minor contact for a lot of the chasers back there, which will be good to keep them potentially in a good position to hopefully try to make back up some positions. But they just ended up a little bit more behind the 8 ball than they probably were, but still not in terrible shape given the hopefully limited amount of damage.
Yeah, I believe a lot of the chasers that were deep in the field, like Smith, Seidel, I think one might have a little piece, but relatively not too bad. King Hullet, Crampton, they are fine with them stopping, but it was the 23 of Josh Williamson winning the race off pit road. And let's get back to the restart after the first caution of the night at Richmond Raceway. Welcome back to Richmond Raceway for race number 17 on the season. After the first caution of the night, hopefully that is the only one, and be stay green for the last 80 plus laps. Unfortunately, Juan Garcia for the second straight race in a row is going to be out, and Eli Bright, who T-boned this 26 really hard, he is destroyed and out. And it will be Williamson, Golden, Lane, James, and Nelson the top 5 on the restart back lane on lap 18 at Richmond Raceway.
A few lucky escapes, and they have found their way into either in the top 10 or almost in the top 10. Allison Ray going for a slide there, and Gordon looking for the race lead. Big dive. Might be able to get it right here.
A great restart from Elijah Gordon. That's what you need to do. As we saw on the first 12-13 lap 1, it might be a little bit difficult to pass. Not as hard as the day race earlier in the year, but Gordon, he might have some short one speed for some adjustments, because he is pulling away very quickly from Josh Manson, and maybe the same for this 18, because he got past Allison Lane and now all over the back bumper of Roger James already.
You don't want to use up your stuff too early, though. If you get a long green run going, that 2-car might even be building too much of a gap. You got to try to save some stuff here for the long hauls. They're all getting really bunched up there just outside the top 10.
Crazy stuff right here. The 3, 19, 8, 66, 10. A bunch of drivers still side by side on this restart. And we lost Ben Watson. I don't know where he fell back to during pit stops and stuff, but the number 19 of Aaron Abel is making his way up here. The 8 of Joe Kowski, 47 of Dale Camel, Scott Upton, Wyatt Walker, and what happened to Jordan Stout? I don't know what happened to Stout, but he has no front end, but he's still going. He's still making his way up to the front. I don't know what really happened, but Watson is all the way back in the field, so I don't know if they just got a bad stop or what, but definitely a lot more chases up front, but the one that was up front, Ben Watson, is falling way deep in the field. Oh boy, Crampton's inside out. And oh no!
Uh-oh.
Not Seidel, King Hunt, Stout's biggest challenger all year long, has an oil leak. So he had to go down pit road.
And along for second here, it's allowing Elijah Gordon to pull about a second on the field here. 31. Gonna take that spot away, and here comes the 18. Gonna take the final podium position away. I had to give props there to that 21. I mean, it didn't seem like he was 100% up to speed, but man, was he doing a good job of trying to hang in there despite, well, missing about a quarter of his car.
Oh, and we got a caution again. Second caution the other night. It looks like it was off turn 4, and the 28 once again, well not the 28, the 26, the 1 of Angel Rivera Trackhouse having 2 bad races in a row, and the 26 having a bad night here. As I think that was the only 2. It might have been the bat markers. Oh, the 17 of Logan Williams missing his entire fender. And Zidell, I think it's mostly in the back here for the second time tonight. Well, unfortunately, it's starting to look like the spring race. Top 6 stay out. And honestly, I think a lot of these guys are going to stay out. First one that is going to pit is Joe Witkowski in the 8. 24 of Nathan Ormond. And a few others, but most of these guys are going to stay out.
That'd be a nifty call from Rutkowski here. Trying to go a little bit further on the run. And that could benefit him in the long run. I think it's going to be a little too far. Well, yeah, way too far to stretch it on fuel. But yeah, going a little bit later, you never know what might happen.
Yeah, if this thing stays green, he would be able to stay out to lap 90 compared to everyone else. So everyone that pitted now, they could stay out to lap 90 and then they could just stay a splash. So maybe they are banking on it being green from here on out. But unfortunately, it's starting to look like the first race with 2 cautions early on. And unfortunately, fortunately, it doesn't look like too many cars were involved, and it was mostly in the back. But let's go ahead and see what happened for the second caution of the night here at Richmond. Here we go. This was not a initial wreck. White Walker, first chaser casualty of the night, blows up down the back stretch, and he was already 10th in points entering this one, and this might hurt him massively at a championship here in season number 4. He tried getting down to the bottom, and he did a good job getting down to the bottom. Got lucky that he blew up down the back stretch, but that stacked up the entire field. He was in 11th, so that stacked up the entire field. And then the one of Angel Rivera got to the inside and clipped the corner panel of Memphis Fisher, the Indy winner, and oddly enough, he clipped the guy that he was battling with at Indy for the win, Tyree Coleman, and the track was blocked at this point as a stack up with Fitzy and John Andrews. Woman gets a piece of it, Trey Smith gets a piece of it, and Zidell gets a massive hit right there, and Crampton gets a piece of it. 4 of 5 chasers are involved here in the second crash of the night, and unfortunately all of them were in the back of the field already. And then some cars were in the back. 26 just ran in the back of Memphis Fisher, and then couldn't want nowhere to go into him, a massive T-bone, and then don't know what the 17 was quite doing of Logan Williams, but had a lot of open space to the right of him, and just ran into the back of the one and caused his fender to pop off, and a minor crash, unfortunate for White Walker, that blew up an engine to cause all this, but a second caution of the night, and a lot of chase drivers involved in this one.
Off turn 2, and that was just as he gained that track position. Wyatt Walker going to be DNFing tonight, and a few other DNFs as a result. Just a big stack up as everyone, whether it was oil or just trying to keep off of each other and not really doing the best of jobs, it was the result of that. So unfortunate there for especially the 20 of Wyatt Walker. Going to come up a bit short of a lot more damage on a lot of other drivers. So not the best circumstances, but a little bit out of these guys' control.
Yeah, that one was not anyone really turning anyone. Sure, the same got turned by Angel Rivera, but I feel like might have been some oil to do with it with the 20. So no harm, no foul on anyone, just the oil getting in the way. But not the caution that Gordon wanted to see, because he had a pretty good gap. A few cars did some strategy here with Joe Kelsey among others, so have to see how that plays out here. Let's go and lead us back to the restart, and let's get back racing at Richmond Raceway. Welcome back to Richmond Raceway. We will go back going on lap 32 of 170 laps to go, and it will be 69 laps to go at the line. And it will be Elijah Gordon, Elijah James, Brianna Nelson, Josh Ramson, Allison Rain, the number 3 of Eric Monaco, the highest chaser, the number 19 of Van Abel, Scott Upton, Troy Gossett, and Steve Collin rounding out the top 10. And of course, some drivers like Joe Witkowski on the back, I believe, pitted, so might have some strategy here later on. But still 69 laps to go, back going on lap 32 of 100.
69 to go. Nice.
The number 3 of Margot to the inside lane as the 19 goes way wide in the middle of the corner. Upton gets sideways off of turn number 2. And have to wait and see on who can possibly challenge for you up front. And I think one of the challenges might be this 18 of Brandon Nelson. Was up front, I believe, top 10, top 15 at the Brickyard last time out, and always slowly moving his way up to the front. In the spring, it was the Toyota Let's Go Places Ford. I believe it was coming more in the number 34 Ford getting the job done. I'm sure Toyota would love to get the job done here in the Toyota on this Ford. And right now they got 2 fast hot rods in second and third.
And we got a Ford leading this thing, then two Toyotas, and then 2 Chevys. So good mixed bag up here so far. We'll see if 7 is able to hang in there. Everyone else right now just trying to kind of sort it out. They're getting a little more strung out than they were last time. Well, we got another yellow flag. Oh my goodness. Turn 3.
Fingers crossed it does not look as big as the other two. And I don't see anyone damaged, like no one's on pit road. So I think it's just some of these damaged cars are being a nuisance here at Richmond. As we are stacking them up, it's fine. Trying to sort out, and now a lot more cars are going to come down pit road here.
Oh boy, you know who this just helped out big time? Joe Rakowski.
If he doesn't pit,
I don't think he did. I think I saw him staying out.
nope, he stayed out. All these guys stayed out. The 79, the 8, 77, 24, 43, 9, 14, 16, the 17 is still out there with no fender. The 34, the 26, and the 5, oh boy. Now some of these guys are a lap down, but especially Joe Witkowski and I believe Clampton, Watson, maybe AJ Clash, this is really going to help them if they don't pit this time by, which I don't think they would. So this changes everything here.
Yeah, this is going to be big, really big right here. 23 went off pit road along with everyone else. But, oh man, is this going to get interesting? I do not see the 2, though. What happened to him?
Elijah Gordon, I see the 18, I see the 7, I see the 23, and the 2 of Gordon way back here. Way deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cars back. So he was the leader on pit road, and he is now 13th out of the guys that pitted. That's unfortunate. But let's go ahead and take a look at what happened to bring out the third caution of the night here at Richmond. Unfortunately, it's starting to look like what happened the first time around, but let's see what happened from here on out, and let's see what about the third caution of the night. Here we go, and 1 and 2, Richard King stuck behind a damaged Cram 1. He just turned them into the 26 of Will Push. Don't think Parrish is going to be too much happy about that, and I don't think Cram 1 is going to be happy about that. Not entirely why the 5 of Zidell came back down pit road, but a very simple caution, just a nice and simple spin. I don't think the non-chaser of Clemore and the part-time driver of Will Push is going to be too happy with the chase driver of Richard Kinghart, but with all that, a bunch of drivers pitted, but the couple that didn't was the 79 of AJ Crash, Joe Witkowski, Memphis Fisher, and among others. And some of these guys have damage, some of them do not, so this could be very interesting here of what happens on this restart. And finally, with a simple caution, with just a spin, maybe that is a sign for things to come, but let's get back to the restart at Richmond. Welcome back to Richmond Raceway from the third cautioner of the night, and it will be the part-time driver of the 79 of AJ Crash leading the way back to the restart with Joe Witkowski, Memphis Fisher, Nathan Orman, John Andrews, Watson, Fitzwater, Clampton, Nelson, and the 3 of Eric Monaco. So I believe the top 8 all stayed out on that strategy when they pitted at the previous caution. So that could get interesting. But it would be the part-time driver of AJ Crashling is back to the green. Top 8 on different strategy. 9th on back pitted under this last caution. Back green on that 40 of 100 with 61 laps to go. From here on out, I think they might be able to make it. It might be close.
Yeah, I think all these guys that stayed out, they're going to be banking on at least another caution, if not a few more. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. Got the 24 with no front end, yet he's up here. So that's quite the call there. We already got some door banging. Oh, that other caution might be coming here pretty soon. Oh, boy.
Boy, 3 wide is fine, but it's a little bit sketchy. These guys are short track racing back here. Roger James, Allison Lane, and there goes Roger James. And a couple cars were all the way pitting. And they're wrecking again.
22 going flying. 44 in it. 22's race is over.
I don't know what these guys are doing. I think a couple of them, the 5 is coming back down pit road, and the 43 was coming back down pit road, and that set them up. But already they were going 3 wide and racing like crazy. Well, now these guys back here that are now pitting might be able to make it all the way from here because it's 55 C laps on fuel. But most of these guys are gonna stay out. This place, I need to do something because in testing, it sounds like I'm breaking the record or something here. But every time I do testing, it's fine. But anyway, a lot of cars on pit road, and now everyone else that pitted at the previous caution is now gonna be the race leader. So now Nelson's gonna be out front. I feel like the officials might not be happy with the 5 because Idell keeps on pinning in and pinning out. So don't know what they're gonna do for that, but sooner or later we should be able to get a long green flag one in. But all the way 4 cautions and not even halfway through. This track, it's something else. Only for these cup cars. Bringing Nelson will lead us back to the green. And let's see what happened to bring out the 4th caution of the night. Well, we were watching this one full time and live. They were being and banging like crazy, and this one was, I think, partly due to the fact that some of the slower cars were up front with damage. But Roger James, his own teammate, into his own teammate of Travis Crampton, into the outside wall, gets turned. Crampton is fine. Fitzy is not. His bad luck continues on the channel. He's doing good in the Power Truck Series chase at least. And then it was going to be fine. It was just going to be those two. But then they had to squeeze up on the racetrack to not hit the bales. And that's where all heck broke loose. Skylar Taylor turned the 44, I believe. And Beal involved in the second crash of the night. Great record points from Trey Smith. The 11 and 22 was stacked up. And then nowhere to go for Stephen Collin and a big hit. Big time T-Bone and Ryan and Richard King are involved in yet another crash here tonight. And unfortunately, we've not seen any. Fortunately, not seeing any flips. Unfortunately, we're seeing more cautions than what we did in the first time. All the way 4 cautions in 45-ish laps, but very unfortunate here at Richmond.
Yeah, remember what I said at the beginning about patience? Well, I don't think these drivers heard me. Now, I mean, the secondary one here, though, I mean, that's just squeezing as a result of the pit wall there. So that's just a symptom of that. But otherwise, these guys definitely have to settle down here, and they're going to have to do it in a hurry. We're going to have a lot of torn up race cars.
Yeah, this happened out in the first Richmond here, and to be fair, we've not seen too much torn up sheet metal all season long, and even in the Power Truck Series. But this track, just 103 might not be perfect, but it's been real cautions, and I feel like that one was partly due to some of the slow cars that had damage being up front. So maybe, but some of the faster cars back up front, like Nelson, Williamson, Monaco has been slowly moving his way up. Allison Rain and Abel and Upton and some of the faster cars up front. Maybe we can finally get a long green flag one in and have to see what happens on the restart at Richmond. Well, welcome back to Richmond Raceway, and we will once again go back racing for another restart on that 47 of 100. These guys cannot, these guys that did not pit, they cannot make it from, but the guys that pitted with damage, for the most part, they are good to go from here, so this could get interesting. Brandon Nelson, Josh Winston, Aaron Monaco, Rain, Abel, Upton, Hamill, 3 chases in the top 10, Gossett, Reynolds, and Duwani rounds out the top 10, and they're scoring. It was strong early on in 11th, and there's the point of the chase, John Stout in 11th, 12th. 4 cautions in half of this one. Hopefully we can stop it and have a long green flag one. And Nelson with a great restart, and tell you what, Upton with another, with an even better restart in this number 6 machine, straight to the inside of Aaron Abel.
Scott Lipton's been making a lot of noise in a lot of the series that he has been going to, so I am not surprised by this at all to see him doing really well ever since he's come onto the offline scene. Pretty much any league that he's in, he's able to make some noise. So credit to him. He's in the chase for a reason, and he's looking to try to move that thing on up.
Yeah, he is definitely in the chase for a reason, because I do believe he has 3 wins, and that's the most of anybody in this season, and trying to get another good result here at Richmond Raceway. And he's bringing Dale Campbell with him, second in the chase standings, and still he is still up here with that no front end. So don't know how much Hamill will really gain, but still gonna be good for Hamill to gain any bit of ground on South before we go to Talladega, or not Talladega, Daytona next week. As Gordon, he has a fast car, he's gonna not waste any time and make it 3 wide. This could get sketchy in 3 and 4.
Yeah, he knows. Oh boy,
Whoa.
careful there, 41. But oh, there they go.
Oh, how did they save it?
Oh my gosh!
Did I just see that? Holy smokes!
That was incredible.
It's not over yet though, but now it is. Holy cow!
That was some wheeling. That was some wheelmanship right there on all those guys. Holy moly, that was awesome.
What a save! What, that could have been bad, but we are still green, and Nelson trying to hold off Josh Williamson, who was the leader early on, and has finally found his way back up to the front. Monaco, we might have to watch out for him, because we're not seeing him all the way slow, just slowly moving his way up. He's in third, and Upton trying to get his 4th win on the season. And he comes into this race 4th in the point standings, and Hamill in 2nd in the point standings, trying to chase down Stout and Kino. Kino has had a rough night, so he's not going to really have too much help in the standings, but Hamill and Upton trying to close in on Stout, and you know who is also starting to close in? Monaco. I was about to say that Williamson is starting to close in on Nelson, but that is not the case. Eric Monaco for all CR starting to close in on Josh Williamson, and we might have a battle for 2nd here.
Eric Monaco, ever since barely missing that first caution, just been kind of keeping it consistent, but now showing some really good speed in that 3 car. Although, boy, if this 2 car gets up toward the front, look out. He gained a 2nd long lead earlier on, and now that thing is looking pretty speedy even in traffic. So watch out for Elijah Gordon making his way to try to contend for this race lead once again, if he's able to continue to pick him off at the rate that he is now.
Of course, Elijah Gordon, I think he has a bad fast race car and he knows it. Made it 3 wide and about took himself and many others out, but somehow they didn't. Picked up a couple more spots past Dale Campbell, and for Elijah, I believe he was either in or right around the cutoff line of making it into the chase before Pocono, I should say, but got taken out in that one, so he was not able to make it. So Gordon, if he was to make it into the chase and had a good finish at Pocono, we could be talking about him having a start of a championship 1 here tonight at Richmond. But Gordon, probably the fastest car here, and if he can do it really soon in traffic, like you said, he might be the car to beat. But at the same time, Brian Nelson is starting to pull out to almost a 1 second lead. Did have a 9/10 lead, and now Williamson gained to 8/10. But I think Nelson and Gordon might be 2 of the fastest cars here, and this is something that we've not seen all night long. Lap traffic.
There's going to be a lot of damaged cars out there at this point, and they're going to have to contend with them throughout the rest of this race. But that 18, like you're saying, yeah, starting to check out there. Wonder if clean air is probably going to be the name of the game for a lot of these guys. Ooh, and getting held up a little bit. That's not going to help.
Why on the exit? The corner. He's not happy with the 26.
He's going to turn him.
Not happy with the 26 at all, there, Andrew.
And now the 26 is like, all right, you're going to hit me. Well, you're going to have to deal with it. He's pulling a Larson Chastain from Dover, oh boy.
Oh boy. Williamson tried getting to the inside, and Monaco said, I'm taking the second place spot, and now Williamson's finally going to get past him, but in the process, he might lose third from Scott Upton. And he will.
If Gordon's able to get around him cleanly, which he did, oh man, that's going to help him out a ton. Going to gain up on some of these guys. Man, I don't think that Will Parrish is too happy just about the situation that he's in, and he's taking it out on everybody else.
Yeah, now he's not going to be happy by a chase driver of Dale Campbell, second in points in this one. He's getting held up, loses one spot, 2 spots. Oh boy, oh boy, oh
Oh, here we go again!
boy.
Wow!
I don't think everyone is not going to be happy with Parrish after this one. Not only did that to the leaders, but now to a chase driver of Dale Campbell.
I mean, I guess the track really does have the grip, considering how many. That's 2 saves that should not have been saves.
Oh man. And all of that, we have a battle for the race lead now. Nelson, Monaco, Upton, Williamson, Gordon, all within a second, well, just over a second of each other. Top 5, all under the blanket. Gossett in 6th, Wine in 7th, Skylar Taylor in 8th, Noah Clifton in 9th, as we got a 3-way battle for a second for 10th, but not 3-way battle, 3 wide, but they were trying to get past the 17, who's a lap down. Might be a couple laps down at this point. Hamill rounds out the top 10 at the moment. And we might have to watch out for the race lead just with all these lap cars in the way and damaged cars. Like Dell is damaged and we're about to catch up to him, and so is Rogers James in the 31.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough there. But as they're starting to get strung out again here, at least before they catch these two, the 18 is pulling away once again. So I think aside from the 2, all of a sudden, as we're hitting the second half of this race, that 18 car is coming to life and really starting to gap these guys. So, of course, lap traffic's still proving to be a bit of an issue, but when there's no one in front of him, golly, is he able to just go hard.
Gordon was strong early on, and I think Gordon is still strong. Williamson was strong early on, and he's fallen off a little bit from the looks of it, but this 18 second half has kicked it into another gear. And like you said, I think if he can just keep it clean here, he might have the car to beat. But the thing is, those guys that pitted under that most recent caution, like I believe Kowski maybe and a few others, they are good to go. The rest of these guys that stay out are not good on fuel, so this could become to pit strategy and fuel strategy late in this one. And with 30 laps to go, all we need was a clean one, because now we've been clean for I believe 20-25 laps here, and laps are ticking on by. Nelson loves the way he sees behind him, and Roger James is going to get past being a lap car, and finally we got a nice green flag one with everybody thrown out here, and that's all we needed. Finally, no real shenanigans, no real cautions, and Monaco might be chasing down Nelson here.
This has been way better, a lot more excitement. Again, I think there should have been 2 crashes there, but they weren't, which was incredible. But they weren't, and that's fantastic. And this has been good stuff. Of course, the 18 putting on a clinic at the moment, not quite pulling out the gap as he was on Monaco this time around, but just kind of holding stationary at the moment between those two. And yeah, you still got the 6, the 23, and the 2 just kind of lurking. 2 still kind of stalking the 23. So a lot that can happen here. And I don't know. I'll be curious to see if anyone does try to stretch it on the fuel, or if guys like Rutkowski and anyone else that may have pitted under the last yellow, they might be good. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I don't know. We've seen this a couple times in the Power Truck Series at Texas and Kansas, where there's some pit strategy where they can. Well, I thought they were good on fuel, and they ended up not being good on fuel. This is a little bit different. I know some colors are good on fuel, but I don't know which ones exactly. I think Wachowski is one of them. And then everybody else that's not pit, as Wachowski gets picked on by AJ Crash, everybody else might not be good, but they might be good barely. So it's very interesting here. Really showing stout, the point leader into this one. There he is with no hood. And that's the difference. Seidel in the chase, multiple laps down, 3 laps down to be exact. Meanwhile, Stout, which I still don't know what exactly happened to Stout. He has no hood and no front end, and he's still managing pace, so that must be the difference where it's a short track. Damage doesn't really play into a factor too much. And I think Stout has no engine damage, meanwhile Seidel does, and Watson is starting to make his way back up to the front as well. And now this race is really starting to click on by. 22 laps to go at the line. Now Monaco is really starting to close in. It was half a second, and now it's down to 3/10. Monaco might have a shot here on the long one.
Oh boy, especially depending on how the 34 is going to handle this. I'm going to hold him up just a little bit here.
Oh boy, he's going to hold up him a
Might
lot
open the
down the
door.
straightaway, and here comes Monaco. Going to use a pick on him, and Moore's going to let the 3 by. New leader, Viva a pick, Eric Monaco.
Well done there. That's how you take advantage. And new leader indeed, in a car that I honestly did not expect to be quite in contention this well. And with no offense to Monaco, it's just that he hasn't really shown that yet. So this is good to see.
Yeah, Monaco, he's had an up and down season. He had it a few times, but he got a good one, and uh-oh. I think these guys that I know cannot make it are going to pit here with 18, 19 laps to go.
Yeah, we got a few others coming in here. I think that they said, all right, we're not going to make it, so we're not gonna go crazy here. Let's just go ahead and get it done.
Smart from these drivers. I knew either they could make it or they couldn't make it, and it would be really close. I guess they cannot make it, and they're just going to go ahead and pit here. And now, this might open up the door for Joe Wachowski and one others. Because I think when they pit, they might be good on fuel. Just have to wait and see if how this all cycles out as the 66 goes way wide. Gets out of the way of the leaders. I think the 66 already pitted though, because I thought she was up front. Nelson is in the race lead still. Upton in second. Gordon here and up C. When will these guys decide to bring it down pit road? Not yet for the 18. And it's going to be interesting. As we got jump a little colors back here.
A big jumble there. I don't know. I feel like those guys are going to try to push it. I think that for some of these guys, they're going to try and make every bit that they can. Here comes the 6. That 18, though. I mean, he's still hanging in there, staying out. This could also be indicative of if the undercut's going to be the better way to go if you are going to pit. I don't know. There's so much stuff that could happen right now, and honestly, I'm not going to try to speculate. There could be 10,000 things that could happen here in these final few laps.
Yeah, only 14 laps to go, but late race pit stops here at Richmond Raceway. Some guys doing undercut, some guys doing overcut, some guys might be able to make it already. A lot of stuff is going on, and all I know is that the 18 of Brandon is currently out front, and he is staying put. He's staying out right here in this number 18, and he probably wants a caution right now. And Wachowski, I thought he could make it, and he is not going to be able to make it. He's on pit road. And actually, he had a tire go down, and I think he might have to teleport, but no caution came out.
I was going to say, if he's just sitting there and you don't see them jacking up the car, yeah, something happened. So we'll see who else may have been on the same strategy as him, and if they're going to try to push it.
You guys will see that in the corner of the screen. Teleport for Wachowski tried a different strategy, and I guess either ran over something or ran too much on the tires. But right now, the 18 is still out there, the 2 is still out there, the 3 is still out there, the 9, and oh boy, we got a caution. right in the middle of pit stops. Looks like it was for AJ Clash, Roger James, and a bunch of cars off turn number 4. Oh no, Brandon Nelson.
Oh yeah, 6 car just checked up a little harder than think he was ready for that. I don't think there was any harm done there though.
Well, now I really don't know what's going on. A really good green flag 1, but unfortunately it happens where we have the 5th caution of the night, same as the spring, but it's gonna come out right during pit stops, and I have no clue what's gonna happen here. I feel bad for the officials. Let's just say that.
Yeah, they're gonna have a fun time with this one.
Roger James, Travis Crampton, I think was involved. Nathan Ormond as well. I'm not even gonna try to guess of who the leader is and what's everything is gonna go down here. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the 5th caution of the night at Richmond Raceway. Here we go. This is the reason for our 5th caution of the night after a long 30, 35, 40 lap green flag 1. Allison Rain in the number 7 came off a pit road, and this is just short tracks in the exit point down the back switch, and sometimes in the turn is at the same point of when they of where the racing line is, and Allison Rain got right into Clifton, threw wide briefly, and Logan Williams was to the outside of him and hauled into the outside wall. Big hit, tough play for Noah Clifton right there, who honestly was just an innocent bystander. Same with Logan Williams. That one was on Allison. And then the 78, don't really know what happened to Richard. He was already missed the wreck, and he just slammed onto the brakes. But and then this cluster of callers happened to join these guys right at the wrong time. AJ Crash, Derek Hamill was fine. The 38 came sliding into the 79. And Abel went sliding and got a little tap from the 17. And then Woman didn't know where to go, tried to find his own way around it and into the 79, and then Crampton nowhere to go but into the side of the 79. And you know how I said that we didn't have a flip? Yet we about had a flip right there for the 79 machine. And then this 31 into his own teammate in the number 16. So definitely it's been an eventful night. Finally a nice green flag 1, but unfortunately the 5th caution of the night happens during pit stops, and who knows what is going to happen with the officials on this one. Well, a very unfortunate ending of this one here. We still got a lot of contenders up front that still have a shot, but we do not have that many cars on the lead lap with how much time we have left in the race. The officials just wanted to go ahead and go for it. We have a 4-lap shootout. AJ Crash out front, Elijah Gordon, strong car in second, probably the best one all day. Josh Williamson in third, Memphis Fisher trying to go back to back. Zachary Fitzwell in fifth. And then Eric Monaco is way deep in the field. And so is Scott Upton in the number 6. Just very unfortunate with how it flew. We have top 5 all in front of these guys. Meanwhile, everyone else is a lap down. Back going with 4 laps to go. Can Crash hang on to Gordon? No, he will not.
It crashed with a lot of damage, so I'm not surprised there. But I think that 2 car is going to be tough to hold back anyway. But if this 23 gets ahead, oh man, if they save it, I don't think we're going to caution.
I believe they did. I believe we are still clean. And Williamson trying to chase down, and never mind, they did not save it. I thought they did, and that's going to end the race.
Ain't that just the way?
Richmond. This is why we are having one race here next season. And lowering the strength. At the end of the night, I guess we can say that the best car is going to win of Elijah Gordon in the number 2. But, if only we didn't get a caution during pit stops, then the last 50, 55 laps would have stayed green. But that's not going to be the case. 2 laps to go for Elijah Gordon, and he's going to get the job done here in a race and a half. AJ Crash, I think, had to go down pit road, and we saw him get sideways already. So, the points is going to be really wacky going into Daytona, and Daytona's going to make them even more wacky. Very unfortunate here at Richmond.
There was some good racing in there for sure. Just some bad circumstances that kind of led it to being a little more hectic than it should have been. But ultimately, as you said, though, I mean, I think that the fastest man on the track is going to end up winning this thing ultimately. All said and done, I mean, he qualified second. So um, I don't think that there's really anything you could take away in that regard from Elijah Gordon.
Yeah, I think caution or not during pit stops, I think Gordon had the best car here tonight. Nelson had a good car. Monaco, Upton, Williamson were all in the top 5 all night long, but no one had anything for Gordon. And he's gonna get the win in real circumstances. In all this, I think Crash might get a solid result still. I'm just so confused. I'm sorry for everyone for watching this. It's been the case this season in both series. Testing does not matter. But we'll figure this things out for next season. Richmond's only getting 1 date. But one guy that is happy though is the fastest guy in town here tonight at Richmond Raceway. Elijah Gordon is going to win the Toyota Owners 400 in a interesting race, to say the least. Not like the day race, but it ended up being kind of like the day race. Gordon gets the job done. Williamson in second. Fisher, after winning at Indy, is going to get third somehow. Dewani, the 14 of Fitzwater is going to get fourth. Monaco, Upton, and Crash is going to round out the top 7 that finished on the lead lap, and there you have it. Everyone else that ended up going 1, 2, or 3 laps down during pit stops. Dewani, Taylor, Edwards, Wayne, Stout still get the good finish with no having any hood. Gossett, Reynolds, Watson, Smith, Kennard, Hamill, Andrews, Abel, on down. In all the chaos, I'm surprised we didn't have more cars out than what we have. Nelson, unfortunately, got destroyed coming back to that 5th caution. Then Crampton, Woman, James, Clifton, Beal, Collins, O'Vera, Walker blew up, Garcia, and Bright all out in this one. The finishing results is not the big tell. Does not tell the whole story, because the first half of the race, and really the first 40 laps, is this race at 4 cautions. But then we had a long green flag one, 45 laps, and I thought we were going to stay green for the entirety of the second half. And we were going to, if it wasn't for Allison Rain and no Clifton in them. And then I guess slow cars were in the way again, and unfortunately not able to finish this one on the green flag conditions. I don't know what's going to happen for the points. Stout finished 12th. Hamill finishes 18th. So he's not going to gain there. Kinghart is going to get 17th. Upton's going to get 6th. So Upton's going to gain ground. But Crampton, bad night. Watson, 15th. Trey Smith, 16th. Abel with a bad up and down night in 20th. Wachowski, very unfortunate. He gets 28th when I thought potentially had the race winning strategy of the state green. And Walker, he blew up. His championship might be over. Ullman, he had a bad night. His championship might be over. And then Zidell, he finished 25th, but it's going to be tough for him to have a shot for the last 5 races. Andrew, this was definitely a race of 2 halves. First half, 4 cautions and 40 laps. And really from that 45-ish onward, a fantastic green flag won, and unfortunately it got cut short. What's the final thoughts at Richmond?
Well, short track beating and banging, for sure. Honestly, I mean, again, we were talking about those 2 saves earlier. Otherwise, just a lot of impatience. I think that really reared its ugly head there. But again, though, I mean, that 2 car was definitely looking like the quickest car on the track. The 18 was looking really fast. Just not gonna quite have this one go his way, unfortunately. But still, I mean, it was fun regardless. I'm glad I got to do this with you. I just think that perhaps Richmond just needs a talking to after after this season.
Yeah, I bought Richmond in because one, we need more short tracks, and two, in testing it looked pretty good. And then in testing in the day race, we had 5 cautions and 2 flips. This one we had 6 cautions. 3 of them probably shouldn't have happened. And we didn't have any flips. And we had fantastic racing though. Like that 45 lap green flag 1 was fantastic. Probably should have had 2 cautions anyway, but when when we were racing it, it was fantastic. Might just have to change some things, lower the strength a little bit, and see what happens next season. But definitely gonna shake up the points going into Daytona, which will always shake up the points here for the JBL Cup Series. Thanks for Andrew for joining me up here in a interesting race at the racetrack of Richmond. 11 cautions and 2 races here at Richmond. And okay, until Daytona, until next week as we go to Talladega for the Power Truck Series and Daytona for the JBL Cup Series, a little bit of a super speedway swing for chase race number 3 for both of them. I will see you guys later. Bye.